I had to trim mine up a couple times, bro.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I'm like, hold on, you don't look too shabby. You ain't quarantined over there.
I know, bro. I know. I've been trimming up.
You know what? I finally amounted to the pressure. I got an IG.
I was surprised, bro. I was surprised.
Hey, you know why I'm so surprised? Because I'm a big social media guy, but I don't have IG. Go figure.
That's so true. And you're like, that was like your staple too. It's like, I got Twitter, but I don't have IG.
That was my staple. But you know what? Quarantine make you do different stuff. And then I went on IG Live for BC. And so I had to create a page.
Got you.
And so I had 2 followers. Everybody like, yo, you going to keep it? You going to keep it?
But I thought it was a burner account.
I know Braun. Hey, Braun over here trying to clown. But no, he gave me a little shout out. We're going to keep this going. I did it with Kuz, probably 4 or 5 days ago. Kuz is actually a really good interview person.
Kuz got the energy. That's why. You know.
He's so proper. He knows all the right questions. He gives you the political answer to this.
He's probably done it a couple times, too.
Not when I first got to the team, but probably like 20, 30 games in, I kept hearing Caruso the GOAT. Caruso the GOAT. But I didn't hear it when I first got on the team. Were they calling you that last year? And if they were calling it last year or this year, who's the one that started that? Hey, Caruso the GOAT.
I don't think it happened last year because I was like, when I was on two-way, it was different. Like I didn't really have the same relationships with the big team because I was with the G League team most of the year.
Like Taylor.
Yeah, just like that. So it wasn't anything last year. I really don't know. It might have been the fans that started it. This year, you know, like kind of early in the year, and then in the summer when I signed with LA fans already like kind of like had that like adoration for me, just from the end of last year, and then obviously a couple dunks early in the season, a couple plays, and then it started, and then once Braun like started jokingly saying it, that's when it like really, that's when it like blew up.
You know what's going viral. Hey, let's just stick with the fans. This is perfect because Jeremy Lin had it for Lin Sanity for a while, and I was shocked. I knew Lakers fans were passionate. I didn't know it was to this extreme where wherever you go, I could be in Vegas. I signed in Vegas,
everywhere,
San Diego, everywhere you go, right, bring us this championship. So when did it start for you when you knew that, hey, this is a little bit different, to the point where fan voting, you were, I think, for sure top 10. Fan voting when you know, hey, this is another level. When did you realize that?
I think it was towards the end of last year. Like I said, so both years of my two-way, like the end of the first year, I played pretty good at the end of the season, but it wasn't anything crazy. Like I think my best game was like I had like 13 and 5. And then end of last year is when I I was averaging like 17 and 8 to finish out the last like 10 games, 12 games of the season, and it really blew up. And then over the summer is when it really hit me. You know, it's like, because I'm traveling, this is my first summer. I didn't have summer league. I didn't have workouts with anybody. I knew I was going to be with the team.
Right.
So I was like going different places. I was back home. I was in different cities in Texas and then back in LA. And I was starting to get like recognized. And it's kind of normal back in like College Station just because it's a college town. It's a small town. Everybody kind of knows who I am there. But then once it started happening like normal places where I would just like show up at the mall or go to the movies or something, and somebody would like say something, and I expected them to be like an A&M fan or somebody from Texas.
Right.
And it was somebody that's like, oh yeah, we're from New Mexico. We love the Lakers. Da 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 da. And I was like, oh man, this is
crazy.
This is global. Yeah.
I'm always curious of a two-way story because for one, I mean, there's only 14, 15 spots. Back in the day, when the G League was really, really popular, it was not easier, but if a player got called up to Utah, I remember I think it was in Seattle Games.
Yeah, I remember Seattle Games, yeah.
Yes, and so to me, it was cool, but it was cooler back then where Utah, you might be an affiliate of Utah, but the Lakers could sign you, or he could sign you, so you had more of an opportunity. Now it's tougher because there's two ways. You're linked to that team.
Yeah.
The team already has 14, 15 guys. I want to hear, because I'm not really obviously know your story of you being a two-way, getting called up, maybe playing a couple games, going back down, and what happened? What gave you the opportunity? Like, hey, to show you average 17, 8. What transpired in that process?
Yeah, bro. Honestly, it was just a lot of me like learning the game, the professional game, 'cause it's so much different than college. You know, it's like you're not calling plays, you're not walking the ball up the court. So it took me a while to get used to that, but also like the different roles was the biggest thing, man. Because like on the G League team, when I went down there, I'm starting point guard, I'm running the show. Like I'm if not the man, I'm one of the two, three guys that are like the man on the team.
Right.
And then you get called up, like you said, I'm 16th on the roster now.
Right.
It's a huge change and swing in your role. So I think for me, it was that was the hardest thing, was just like the bouncing back and forth. Like you said, you could be in I could be in like, I remember I got called up one time. I was like, we just finished a shoot around in the hotel with the G League, and I got a call like 2 hours later before I took my nap that I had to go fly back to LA, practice, and then get ready to play the next day. And there's a bunch of stories like that where it's just like crazy, abrupt changes in schedules. But I think the craziest thing for me was just getting used to those two different roles and just
Right.
like, 'cause it's a completely different mindset. I mean, you know this from your career in the NBA. It's like you at one point you were like the shooter, the guy who was getting all the shots, and now you're more of like the role player,
For sure.
teaching the younger players. So it's hard to like switch it on and off.
Oh, no, for sure. I mean, college kids coming in trying to find your role. Bad team where you might start average 17 for a good team, kind of like Kutz's situation of being a good team. Now AD comes in trying to find your role. And people understand once you find your niche and you maximize it, that's how you can extend your career 3, 4, 5, 6 years. I think you have. Are you a big guy on analytics? Because now the league is such an analytic driven. Because for me, I wasn't. And then once I figured out how the analytics works, I became an analytic freak in the sense of, hey, what shots to shoot, when not to shoot them, looking at not even box scores, not your stats, but plus or minus. Are you someone, are you into the analytics that really something you follow or no?
Yes and no. You know, I think there's a healthy balance. Because, I mean, there's some people who are like Moneyball, right? Like that analytics driven, like every decision they make is based off the numbers and stuff like that. But I'm kind of I mean, my game kind of is traditional as far as like playing wise, and I feel like that's why I'm kind of yes and no. I think there's a healthy balance, you know, because I think what you're saying is right. Like there's certain shots that aren't as good as others, and there's certain places on the floor that other players aren't good as some. But at the end of the day, I have that kind of old school mentality. It's like I'm just gonna kind of get the job done.
Do you know, or maybe you do know this, maybe you don't know this, or give a guess? What two players out of the whole NBA, tandem, whatever, has the best plus and minus in the NBA together?
Is it me and Bron?
You and Bron. And when I looked at that, when I'm looking at this, I'm here, I'm like, him and Bron have the best. And I go through the numbers, I look at it, and listen, hey, fellas, he got to play with Bron more. I'm just looking at this because, for one, numbers can lie at times. People say numbers don't lie.
For sure.
Because like someone like me, if I come in the last 2-3 minutes and the game's over and we, Dwight Howard hits the three, JaVale, we're up +6. It's not inducive of the game. But for you, playing with Bron, well, Bron is not playing getting beat down or up by 20 or 30. He's playing the first, so he's playing a majority of our minutes. And so when I saw that to me had like not a red flag, but in a way it's like, oh man, listen. This is important for playoffs going in future. So tell me your relationship and playing with Bron and how that is, because and I think most people are going to play better with Bron.
Yeah,
we see him being as good as, but not as good as you've been playing this year.
Yeah, the plus minus is always interesting, like you said, just because like I made a joke with somebody, I can't remember who it was. Like you always want to be on the court whenever Bron goes on one of those like 10-0 scoring runs by himself. It helps the plus minus a lot. But I think, man, me and him just have like You have the same thought process too. We're just heady like basketball players. Like you know spacing, you know defensive awareness, you know guys' tendencies, and I feel like me and him just have a connection of understanding the game. And I do a really good job in my career. I've always done a good job when I play with better players than myself. I seem to be able to raise my game, and I can't always do that if I'm the best player on the court. And luckily, I'm not going to be the best player on the court probably for the rest of my life, so I should be able to keep this up.
Yeah.
But I mean, like LeBron is such a transcending talent too that it's almost like the simpler you keep it, the easier it is to have success. right? Like, don't try to do too much. And that kind of goes back to knowing your role, like you said, like we talked about a second ago. Knowing your role, and then me and him have so many minutes on the court together. It's starting to get even more natural, and through this year, it's become even better. But towards the end of last year, we played a bunch of minutes together. Even when we were when we were still chasing playoff contention, when we really weren't in it. So we just started building a good rep there, and then it just kind of carried over to this year.
No, for sure. I mean, listen, man. Like, I tell people this every time I get IG Live. I got with this. Like, when you first walk into the room and Bron is there, his presence, you never meet him, and then once you hang out with him, and then the season goes by, it's like, yo, he is literally just like us.
Yeah, man. He's another one of the dudes, bro.
The clowns, the jokes. Not picking up tabs on bills, back and forth, us on it, we debating.
Yo, he is cheap, bro. That's one thing people don't realize.
We're going to split it up.
Cheap, bro. They want to keep their money. But no, I agree, bro. I remember the first time, so it was my second year in two-way, so not this past season, the year before, it's like 2 or 3 days before we start our non-voluntary our voluntary September workouts at the gym. And we're playing pickup. And I remember the first day I walked in, you're right. Like, as soon as you walk in the room and he's there, it's like, you know that, like, that's LeBron.
Facts.
But then the more you hang out and the more you realize, like, he's still a kid at heart.
Listen, because
he's a big kid, bro.
He had his kids so young that now his son's a freshman or sophomore now here at Terry Canyon. So, I mean, he's hip to it with the music he listens to. He's a rapper.
He's plugged in.
He's 100% plugged in.
Plugged in.
I know during this quarantine time, fans ask, hey, Jared, what are you doing? So what is your routine? Obviously, when you have to social distance, we're conscious of that as athletes, but yet if the season picks back up, I told them, obviously, we had our Zoom meetings early on, stuff like that. It's always tough to be able to do. What is your workout regimen for you to be able to, because you're someone who prides yourself on, obviously, physical fitness, being prepared, being in shape. What have you been doing right now to stay in shape and work on your game?
You know, it's weird just as far as, like, the fitness part. I really have never been a big jump rope guy, but I've, like, fallen in love with, like, just throwing on music, blasting it, and just getting jump rope for, like, 20, 30 minutes and just getting after it. It's I don't know what it is. It's better than running for me, man. I hate running. I don't know about you. I'm one of those basketball players where I just don't enjoy cardio outside of actually playing the basketball game.
I'm more of an elliptical All-American. He's an elliptical machine.
Okay.
When you hit 33 and up, you try to be hard from running and the pounding that you do on the street or the court. So I'm more of an elliptical guy myself.
I feel you. I'll be there. Hopefully, I got another 7 to 8 years before I got to do that. But doing that, and then like you said, we had those Zoom meetings. I'm still getting some workouts from Gunner, our strength coach. Anybody that doesn't know who that is. I'm still getting workouts from G, and then I've been able to find a gym to get some shots up on a gun, just to, like you said, be able to keep that feel. Because I mean, it's crazy the fact that I was talking with Coach Vogel the other day. I was talking with Frank, and he just basically gave me it clicked in my mind. It's like our summer and our springs just got flipped. Our spring is supposed to be last couple games of the season, starting playoffs, and summer's usually this, right? It's usually like at-home workouts, getting in the gym, staying in shape, getting ready for next year, and it's weird that they just kind of flipped, and it's been weird, bro. That's the only way I can describe it. It's just weird.
Were you on that conference call with Adam Silver yesterday, or no?
I was not.
All right, so I was on a conference call. The intriguing thing that I took from it is he has no problem going into October to finish the season. And so that's what I get. It's like, listen, guys, we're going to wait for the data to come out. We're testing for people. He obviously wants to finish the season, and I think it's going to come down to like June 15th is the date that I took. Because he said, we don't need to know by early June. So that June 15th date is, hey, to be able to, are we going to have enough testing for the public so that we can be able to do it, to be able to move forward to give ourselves a chance. So in retrospect, that means right now would be our July. You got your 2 months to get in shape to be able to get ready for the season. So, and it's weird to think of it like that because
it is, man. Because it's not. At the same time, it's not. And like your mind, and even your body. Like you've done this so many more years. I'm sure your body is in like the routine of like, all right, ramp up, slow down, then ramp back up. And for me, I'm still getting used to that schedule. But I can't imagine like the guys with more miles on their bodies and just. I mean, at the end of the day, like, we're all human. Like, our bodies get used to cycles. They get used to reps. They get used to schedules. And throwing that off is always a little bit scary.
Let's talk about the headband. Because I've been a headband. When you're a headband guy, that means that you spend years wearing a headband. I started my high school, my sophomore.
That's right. I've seen pictures of you in college where you had the band and the braids.
Okay. Yes, I didn't have it before the braids, but I had a fro. I had it when I had the curls in high school. I've had the headband for me, so like a stickler. And it's very rare someone like Rondo, who's headband some games, no headband. And usually you're a headband guy.
Yeah, bro.
What made you want to do the headband? And then it's a two-part question.
Okay.
And then who came up with that headband celebration?
It's all, the first answer is JaVale. Me and JaVale have a good relationship just from playing with him for the last 2 years when I was on two-way, and he finished out. Then him and KCP both played with me towards the whole end of the season the last 2 years when I was on two-way. So we had good chemistry in our lockers, and me and JaVale's locker next to each other. So he's always just trying to put me on game and trying to make me more LA because I'm a pretty basic kid from Texas. I like to keep it low key. So he hooked me up with a barber and then told me I had to start rocking the headband. So I was like, all right, I'll try it out. And then I can't remember what game it was. It was one of the games. I was playing well, and I want to say that I just did it kind of naturally. Like, it was just a one just kind of thing. And then JaVale from there just kind of took it and ran with it. He was he's the inspiration and the catalyst behind the headband.
It's real Aaron Rodgers. The Steve Novak belt check, State Farm, how you do the headband.
And it's so simplistic, too. Like, people tried to, like, make it into, like, this crazy thing, and I was like, it was like a month into it. I was, like, looking at the celebration on a highlight, and I was like, all we're really doing is just kind of, like, outlining the headband with our hands. Like, we're not doing anything crazy, but people love it.
Let's go with, everyone's into fashion now. You walk into the arena, everyone has their own style, but what's unique about certain players, the Kawhis, the LeBrons, the Kyries, the Giannis, they wear a lot of their own stuff. And so what I've been seeing you coming into the tunnel is a lot of Caruso's, your own different style that when I asked you about it, you were basically talking about how you got this basic shirts coming out. I don't know how in depth you're going to go with hoodies or whatever. Like, when as a fan, if I was, hey, listen, I'm a Caruso fan, I want to buy your stuff that you create, like, where can I find that at? Is it going to come out Wednesday? I know, obviously, during the pandemic, stuff might have happened. Tell us a little bit about your stuff you got going on.
Yeah, the Caruso line. So that was like a bunch of T-shirts, hoodies, just stuff that I thought would be a cool idea to kind of connect with the fans, especially in LA, just because I know, like we said, man, Lakers fans are crazy in a great way. We worked with this company called Represent. You can find them at represent.com/Caruso.
Represent.com/Caruso.
/Caruso show.
Caruso, my fault.
Caruso. I don't know if it's open right now. I think we closed it down shortly after quarantine started, just to kind of take a step back. But there's gonna be a second line for sure. We might have to sprinkle in a little headband logo in there too.
For sure. No, for sure. Usually, the last 10 minutes, I'm real big on fan interacting, so we like to go right here to the fans. Any questions you have for Caruso, for the Lakers? One big one I want to start off with you. I did the same thing to Kuz, a fan asked last time. Your favorite moment so far this year? It's been a lot of highs.
In one moment?
I know it's crazy. I think he picked two, but it's kind of that weekend. He picked the Milwaukee, beating Milwaukee and then beating the Clippers, I think 2 days later. But hey, this is not like it can be.
There's no wrong answer, right? Yeah.
There's no wrong. I mean, it's whatever you feel. For me, with Brooklyn, I go back to the old team. What didn't play the game before? JaVale gets sick. Mm-hmm. They tell me, hey, Jared, be ready. I go in, hit a couple of threes, hit a three at the buzzer. You beat your old team. There's nothing like these.
Yeah, for sure. I'm
in there, gonna have some fun at that night afterwards, everything. So tell me a fun moment so far. Your best moment you like?
Man, I think it's a tie. I think the two games for me that were really just like the most fun that I've had this year was that OKC game where Bron and AD didn't play. And it was basically bench mob and a couple, and DG didn't play either, right?
DG did not play.
So it was bench mob and a couple starters, and we went out there and played great. Played
huge win.
Yeah, like a big win just as far as like solidifying us as like, hey, we have a full team. This isn't just like a two-headed monster and some other guys. And then that Chicago game early in the year, that was we had the big comeback. Because that was that was the first game where I really felt like I was playing like myself. Like I was out there just kind of hooping. I was like making defensive plays. I was locked in on my assignment, and then Kuz started playing well. Quinn was hitting shots. It was
big Rondo game. I remember that. Rondo set the tone early. Kuz, definitely total team effort. I remember that one.
That was one. I mean, and then Chicago's just we went to a nice dinner afterwards on Coach. That was a good game, good day.
Question: favorite? I'm looking at favorite personal Kobe moment. Obviously, going through that's always a good one. Which one? Maybe growing up, you watched. I don't know if you watched him beat my son's team in 2010 when he like Jesus out there. What's your favorite Kobe moment or most memorable?
Man, I think the most memorable for me was probably those final series against the Celtics.
Yep.
The one they lost, and then obviously the one that they win. I think those two just for me, because that was like when I was. What year was that? 2010.
2010. He beat the Celtics because he beat us in the Western Conference Finals and ended up winning the championship that year.
Yeah. So 2010. I'm not gonna date you here. Sorry to bring the age into it, but I was a sophomore in high school.
Okay.
And this was when I my sophomore to junior and junior to senior high school was when I really started to get good at basketball and really just fall in love with the game. And I remember watching those series with them and the Celtics and how much passion they played with, and Kobe just could turn it on and just get to another level of focus, and that was something I always wanted to try and replicate.
Perfect. Let's see what else we got here. What we got going on? Favorite dunk you've done in the game. Let's do one. Let's do your favorite dunk this year as a Laker, and then give us another one that's
all time. Okay.
I saw people on the group chat that we had that one time that we were all sending our favorite dunking on people, and you had that one you sent a dunking in college at A&M.
Yeah, bro. That was was the first time I ever really dunked on somebody in a game. I used to not. I was watching this 3-minute clip of my senior year of me in the tournament, and I was watching the highlights, and I was like, man, I could have dunked 3 or 4 of these. I don't know what I was doing at the time when I got drafted. If I would have thrown a couple down.
Hey, it definitely helps.
I think my favorite dunk this year. I think the Denver one, man. The Denver put back on the baseline. Just because. Well, 2 reasons. One, because there's a dope picture from it that I'm probably gonna get framed and put up. It's this it's the stick where it's shadows behind everybody, and there's 4 different Nuggets players all just looking up at me and kind of in awe, and I'm in the air dunking it, and then because before the game we're walking into the arena and JaVale takes his headphones off and he just kind of whispers to me as we go into the locker room. He's like. It's I don't know what's going on, man, but I just have a feeling you're going to have a nasty dunk tonight.
Oh, he said that?
I swear to God, man, right hand to God. You can ask him. He can verify. He called the dunk. He didn't know it was going to be a tip dunk, but he just said he felt like I was going to dunk on somebody that night. And then, sure enough.
What's the game that when you went, I think you're on a fast break, you get ready to dunk a 2-hand cockback, and LeBron and guys are behind you, and they all jump.
But yeah, Detroit.
It's definitely a top 5 best pictures of the.
Yeah, the one from underneath.
Underneath.
Yeah, bro, that's a sick picture too. Especially just because I grew up watching Dwight and Bron.
Right.
As a kid when I was growing up, so that's dope. And it's just it was just that kind of picture just shows the kind of team we have this year too. It's we get down to business and we perform in the court, but at the end of the day, we're having fun with it.
Someone's asking, who is the best fashion on the team? Who's your favorite people you like walking in on the team, walking in?
I don't know if I have a best, just because everybody has their own unique style.
We do,
right? Everybody has their own style. I think there's 3 that are consistently good. I think I think Bron. I was gonna put Dwight in as a third because he's always has a little clean cut outfit. But now that I'm thinking about it, I think there's maybe layers. There's maybe layers to it. I think you and Bron are consistent.
You can put Kuz in there.
I was gonna put Kuz. That was the other one I was thinking, man. Kuz goes off the wall sometimes, bro. And there's nothing wrong with it. Like that's him, bro. That's what he does. I would never wear some of that stuff, but I'm also just not a big out there fashion guy. Somebody asked me. I did one of those IG polls on my story.
Yep.
And they asked me something about, is there anybody on the team or you don't like their fashion or something like that? And I was like, no, I rock with everybody's fashion. Except for that one time Kuz wore the fishnet shirt, bro.
Now, what about Green? Wearing that red chinchilla to death.
Yeah, DG has some wild outfits too, bro. DG has some wild outfits too. But at the end of the day, man, DG walks in just chin up, just chest out, just rocking it. So, I mean, I'm more power to him.
What else we got here, y'all? Come on, a couple more questions for Caruso, then you got to go, man. We're going in about 3 more minutes. Top 5 point guards of all time.
Ooh, all time?
Yeah, all time. All time.
Magic's in there.
For sure.
Magic, Steve Nash. Damn, there's so many good point guards, man. Does Allen Iverson count as a point guard?
No. I think it's 2 guards. I think it's 2 guards.
Scoring guard, got it.
I think
them two, J-Kid, Stockton.
2 white guys, okay. No bias.
I might be. Actually, I'm gonna have to pull J-Kid out. I'm gonna put Oscar Robertson in there.
Oscar Robertson. No. Again, Thomas. I don't know if you've been watching the.
Maybe not. I'm trying to. So we got Magic, Stockton.
Some people want to put Steph Curry right now. I know he's not done playing.
Yeah, that's tough too.
Yeah,
but at the end, like, if you don't even put AI in there, can you put Steph in?
You know what? Like, to me.
Do you think Steph's closer than AI was?
Yeah, just because, AI was a 2 guard in the sense that he had, remember, Eric Snow played the 1. I think Steph is, he's the 1. They put Clay the 2. But, it's definitely, your pick.
I think if we count Steph, I got to put Steph in there.
Yeah.
I think it goes no order, right? I would put Steph over Isaiah Thomas just because I think Steph changed the game. Right, I think he was a great player, and he did what he did, won championships. But Steph's done that, and he changed the game. So Magic, Steph, Steve Nash, Oscar Robertson, Stockton.
Perfect. One fan wants to know what's your vertical? What is Caruso's vert? Or last time you did it?
Last time I did it. Man, I think my max vert is somewhere around 38.5. Like, that's off of 1 foot toe. So 2 foot's not my strong suit, in case anybody doesn't know. 2 foot's not very good. If just like standing verts, like 31. I don't get up very well off of 2, but off of 1's like 38, 39.
39. Hey, Alex Caruso, we appreciate you showing love to my IG. My IG's blowing up.
It's just the beginning, man. Just the beginning.
I hope I see you next Saturday if they open the practice facility. I'm going to see 3 other people. Maybe you're one of the 3.
I'll probably be there, man. Ain't got anything to do, man.
And nothing to do, man. Hey, man, stay up. Stay in touch. Great teammate.
Yes, sir, CJ.
All right, brother.